Welcome to County Connection. I'm your host, Julie Suter. We have a great show lined up for this November episode. We're going to talk about how to stay safe on the roads out there, some renewable energy investment opportunities for business owners, and some progress that we have made on combating noxious weeds. Thanks for joining us. For our first segment of this November episode, we are going to talk about how to stay safe on those winter roads, and winter has definitely already come. And here to tell us all about it are Sheriff Jamie Fitzsimons from Summit County Sheriff's Office and Captain Jared Rapp from Colorado State Patrol. Welcome, guys.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So, Jamie and Jared, you guys and your teams work pretty closely together all year round, and that coordination and collaboration gets pretty intense in the winter time. So can you start off by just telling us what each of you does in Summit County and what your teams do here?
So as you know, the Sheriff's Office, we have jurisdiction in the county roads, subdivisions, and that encompasses the entire county, so all 680 square miles, which includes some of the highways. Specifically though, the state highways and the interstates belong to the Colorado State Patrol.
Okay, so if folks are seeing you out there on the roads, then generally they're finding CSP on Highway 9, Highway 6, I-70, those kinds of places, and then your crew out on the on our county roads. But then we also have local police departments who are working in the incorporated towns.
Correct, in their towns. So the town police have jurisdiction in their towns. County sheriff has jurisdiction in the entire county. State Patrol, highways, and interstates. However, we all work collaboratively together.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. Wow, a collaborative effort by all.
Excellent. So when it comes to big winter storms, and when we start to see some accidents and some tough conditions out there, how do your two teams work together?
Well, that's a joint effort. You know, we need closure points for interstates and highways as well. So usually whoever we can pull and be able to put at those points is who ends up holding traffic as we work to get the interstate or the highway back open again. A lot of traction laws and stuff that need to be enforced, and all law enforcement does that.
Okay. And so what kinds of factors come into play when you're making a decision to close either a county road or a state highway?
First and foremost, it's public safety. You know, safety of life is the number one priority, ensuring that those roads are safe for people to continue traveling on. If they're not safe, then CDOT and the State Patrol and the Sheriff's offices make that determination to shut the road until it's safe to proceed again. You know, shut it for various reasons. You know, a lot of times if there's a crash, it's not safe for those first responders to be on those road conditions with other traffic coming into that scene unable to stop as well and creating bigger problem.
Mm-hmm. And then, so what should drivers keep in mind when they come upon a closure?
They should slow down. Usually what happens is the trigger point for all of us is, especially when it comes to assisting State Patrol, is it's usually life safety issues. And they become instantly involved and instantly out-resourced. So that's when we usually come in and assist them. And then all law enforcement becomes busy, as you know, and highways start to close, plows start to plow. But I would tell you that people just need to slow down, and they need to observe these closures and to respect the closures and know that we're trying to get these roads safe for them to travel as quick as possible.
Okay. So one of the things that contributes to safe winter driving is having sufficient traction. And so there are some changes to the traction law this year that are in effect. Is that correct, on state highways?
Yeah, specifically the interstate. And that was House Bill 1207. And it basically, from Dotsero to Morrison on the interstate, between the months of September and May, you're required to have certain requirements, just like you would for the commercial motor vehicle law. And that passenger traction law requires either 3/16 inch of tread on your tires with all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, or If you're only a two-wheel drive vehicle, you have to have a snow tire or an all-weather tire with the snowflake symbol.
Okay.
A distinct tire, a distinction I want to make is there's all-season tires, and that doesn't fulfill the requirement of that House bill. And then
So
if
are
you
these
don't,
the tires that have the M+S on them?
yeah, mud and snow.
Okay.
Yeah, or the snowflake symbol itself,
Okay.
certified that way. And if you don't have either of those two things, then you need to have an alternative traction device, such as a set of chains or an auto sock.
Okay. And so is that traction law always in effect now, or it's in effect under certain conditions, or how does that work?
So it's technically in effect from those months, from September to the end of May.
Okay.
So September 1st to May 31st, it's in effect. Even if the roads are dry, you're required to have that equipment with you
Okay.
to be in compliance.
And that's the change from previous years, is that used to be kind of condition dependent, it could be
Right,
turned
unless
on or
like,
off.
say, Code 15 or something was put into effect, then you had to have that equipment. Now, if you're traveling the corridor, you need to have that equipment with you.
Okay. And then the traction law is one thing, the chain law is something else. So can you describe what the chain law is?
For commercial motor vehicles, it's the same thing. Semi trucks have to have a chain or an auto chain or an auto sander equipped on their vehicle or available to them from those same times, September 1st to May 31st. And again, that's on Interstate 70 from Dot Cerro to Morrison, specifically milepost 133 to 259.
Okay.
And they need to have that with them the same way as a passenger vehicle would.
Okay. And then so back to passenger vehicles. It's important for people to have good tires on their cars. And so how does someone gauge whether their tires are in good enough shape to be out on the roads?
So the easy kind of in your pocket trick is to use a quarter. You flip the quarter upside down, stick George Washington's head into the tread of your tire. If your tire tread is at the hairline of his head or deeper towards his neck and body, then you're sufficient.
Okay. And so if you can see his entire head, then it's time to get new tires.
If you can see any part of his forehead,
Yes.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
drive on the highways.
Okay, sounds good. So another thing that's important when it comes to driving safety relative to tires is tire pressure. And the winter weather can play some tricks on us in terms of that. So what should people be thinking about?
Well, they say that, well, it's true that the tire pressure, right, lowers with the cold temperatures like we have. I know that the science out there used to be that, the lower the pressure, the more tread pattern you have on the pavement, the better traction you have. But now they're saying correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, they're saying the way tires are now designed, that you do want to fully inflate them to their proper pressure to get proper traction.
Okay.
Can you dispel that, Jared?
I know that if you are running the pressures that are recommended on the door jamb of
Yeah.
your vehicle, you usually can't go wrong with that.
Okay. And so if someone had adequate tire pressure during the warmer months, you may need a little extra air. So it's worth getting in there and doing a check
Yeah.
as we enter into these colder months.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should ideally probably check your pressure when you're checking your fluids and whatnot. 30 days or so, you can lose a couple pounds of pressure per tire.
Okay. All right. Good to know. So if I do go and find that I'm seeing not enough of George Washington's head, or too much, I should say, then tires can be a little expensive, but there is a good deal out there. Oh, sorry, we're here in our studio at the high school. It sounds like we're getting out of class, but you guys are not excused yet. There's some opportunities for some discounts on proper tires that'll keep people safer out there. So tell us about this deal that's available.
So Big O here in Summit County is the one that's offering deals for Summit County residents on tires. You could go in there and check with them or check their website for their deals, or there's information on this pamphlet that's going. We're handing these out actually to motorists.
Okay.
So says don't tread lightly. They were tread safe campaign. It's going through all law enforcement in Colorado. I know that we're having our deputies, I don't know what Jared's doing, but on all our traffic stops, we're having deputies just hand these out to people because we think it's the best way to get the information out. So there's a lot of information inside that pamphlet. So if you don't have one, come by any of the law enforcement agencies. They all have them at the front desk as well.
Okay, great.
So they're available everywhere.
Great. And so that can help shave a little bit of the cost off of new tires if you need them.
Yeah, I think Big O was 10% up to like $100 discount.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Which, I mean, if you're getting a ticket, you're looking at $130 just for not having equipment, and over $650 if you block a lane and you're found not to have your equipment when you need to.
Oh, and your safety is priceless.
Right.
Your safety is priceless.
Okay. Do you guys have any other tips for staying safe on the roads for drivers this winter?
I would say during these storms, drive with your lights on. Make sure your windshield wiper fluid reservoir is full. And I would tell you before you leave work or home is get a towel or something and clean off your headlights. People don't realize how much road grime gets on your headlights. And it's also real helpful if you clear the snow off your license plates.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't think of that.
Okay. Jared, any tips?
And Jamie said it earlier, but it bears repeating because the majority of these crashes in the winter on road conditions that are less than ideal could be prevented. And the biggest thing that anybody could do is to slow down. Speed limits are posted for ideal road conditions, and those are dry, sunny conditions. So if it says 65 and you're driving and it's snowing and there's snow on the road, you're going far too fast for conditions. And
Okay.
the best thing you can do is slow down, and you may get there a little slower, but you'll get there, and you always want to arrive alive.
All right. Sounds great. Well, thanks so much for coming into the SCTV studio today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about an opportunity for commercial property owners to install renewable energy installations in their businesses.